you live from our Auckland Park studios. This is Prime News on SABC 3. Here are the top stories.
Comrade Mabuza emphasized the importance of education as a tool for liberation and transformation.
Deputy President Paul Mashatile says despite some voices of dissent, the late David Mabuza served both the ANC and South Africa with diligence.
Minister Mchunu came to Parliament in March earlier this year to indicate and was asked by the committee whether he knew Mr. Brown Mokgotsi. He deliberately said that he did not know Mr. Brown Mokgotsi.
President Cyril Ramaphosa will address the nation on Sunday on national security matters. Good evening and welcome to Prime News on 3. I am your host, Beki Mutumomolete. Tonight we take a closer look at our top stories that are shaping our world. From local news to global events, we have the insights to keep you informed. Let's dive right in. Deputy President Paul Mashatile says despite some voices of dissent, the late David Mabuza served both the ANC and South Africa with diligence. He was delivering the government's condolence message at late Deputy President Mabuza's memorial service at Paula Sports Ground in Nhlanzeni region, Mpumalanga.
Comrade Mabuza emphasized the importance of education as a tool for liberation and transformation. During apartheid, he aligned with the progressive organizations advocating for a non-racial, equitable education, demonstrating his commitment to education as a pillar of social justice. He was also active in the establishment of structures of the National Education Crisis Committee in the then Eastern Transvaal Lowveld region. Comrade Mabuza became the chairperson of the Lowveld sub-region of the Eastern Transvaal ANC. He was later elected as a provincial deputy chairperson and served as the longest-serving provincial chairperson of the ANC in Mpumalanga before becoming the deputy president of the ANC and the Republic of South Africa. Throughout his leadership, there has been overwhelming appreciation of his undying commitment to the struggles of the people of Mpumalanga and the people of South Africa as a whole.
The 64-year-old Mabuza will be laid to rest in a private ceremony on Saturday at his Barberton farm in Mpumalanga. His private burial will be preceded by a Category 2 state funeral where President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver a eulogy. President Cyril Ramaphosa will address the nation on Sunday on national security matters. This follows explosive allegations by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi that implicated Police Minister Senzo Mchunu and senior SABC leadership in criminal activities. Mkhwanazi alleges that Mchunu is affiliated to persons linked to criminal activities. In a statement, the president says he has been seized with this matter in recent days and will, following various consultations, take the nation into his confidence on Sunday. This event happened while he was attending a BRICS summit in Brazil. Still on this, Deputy President Paul Mashatile says the president has summoned all persons implicated by Mkhwanazi during his explosive media briefing on Sunday. He says Ramaphosa needs to be given the time to look into the corruption allegations in the South African Police Service.
As we all know that the president was not around, was attending a BRICS summit in Brazil. He's just returned, I think, yesterday. And he did say that as soon as he has returned, he will be looking at these matters. I know that he's currently busy with meeting with those who are affected. And at the right time, he will address the nation, as he said. So I think let's allow him to finalize those processes. We know that everybody in the country wants to know what is the way forward. But I think it is a prerogative of the president to have the first bite on that matter.
Meanwhile, the DA has laid a criminal complaint against Police Minister Senzo Mchunu for misleading Parliament. The party relies on the Powers and Privileges Act, which makes it unlawful to lie to Parliament.
Does Minister Mchunu know Brown Mokhotsi? Know him at all?
Somebody insisting that there's somebody who's going around saying he works with me wherever I am, he is there. And I said, show me the face. And it got to a point where he showed me the face and I told him, I don't know this person.
Mchunu issued a statement. Was his comrade the middleman between Mchunu and a businessman? Million tenders from the South African Police Service. Police Commissioner and also that the documents of the police to be charged for
to Parliament in March earlier this year to indicate and was asked by the committee whether he knew Mr. Brown Mokhotsi. He deliberately said that he did not know Mr. Brown Mokhotsi.
The EFF is also taking Mchunu to task in Parliament. The Ethics and Members Committee
is lied as an executive member. So what we want to achieve is to ensure that he accounts as the Minister of Police.
The MK party has also laid a criminal complaint of perjury against Mchunu at the police station in Pretoria. Philip, SABC News.
In addition, Action SA has called for the immediate suspension of Mchunu. The party held a picket outside police headquarters in Durban.
A call for decisive action. Members of Action SA say the revelations made by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi should concern all South Africans. Mkhwanazi accused the Minister of Police Senzo Mchunu of having links with a criminal syndicate. Action SA wants swift action.
So I think there's enough grounds as well. The police commissioner in the province, Mkhwanazi, have detailed and showed evidence of what's happening with this criminal syndicate. So we believe there's enough grounds really to take action.
The party wants a thorough probe on the matter.
This is one matter that unites us as South Africans, and that is why it's so important for us to show up as South Africans, as various political parties, NGOs, everyone. We are all affected. When we hear allegations such as they are colluding with drug syndicates, distributing drugs to all our communities, surely that's enough for us to stand up.
The party also called on the National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola to ensure that Mkhwanazi is not victimized. Simpiwe Makanya, SABC News, Durban.
Welcome back. The Grand Chamber of the European Court of Human Rights has upheld a 2023 ruling that Caster Semenya's appeal to a Swiss federal tribunal against World Athletics regulations that barred her from competing had not been properly heard. The two-time 800 meters 30 days after the devastating floods that hit Mthatha in the Eastern Cape that affected residents are still agonized. On the 10th of June, some areas of Slovo Park and De Colony in the Mthatha West area were submerged underwater. Many lost their lives while others survived. A prayer service was held in honor of the victims.
It's been a month since the tragedy struck, but the wounds are still as fresh. One of the victims, Nosipho Khosi Dabane, mourns the passing of her husband and her 2 children. But she's still looking for her 13-year-old boy, whose body has not been found yet.
What I want to say is that since government had promised to make sure that we find our missing loved ones, I am pleading for them to help me find my child. I want to bury him next to his father and brother.
This prayer service seeks to give hope and support to the distraught victims, but to some, all it brought are sad memories as they saw the place that used to be their homes lying in ruins.
What comes to my mind after seeing this is what am I going to do on the day of the end of mourning period in December, because I do not have a home. Even today, I'm reminded of that. I think I will have to erect a tent to accommodate people.
Organizers of the service believe this will ease the pain.
We have taken a point where, as the organizations around here, we felt that let us come together and call some of the families that are around, that are available, to come to this place where they were staying. Some of them, they had houses, some of them, they had whatever. In fact, their shelters were here. But today, there is nothing.
SABC News, Mthatha.
South African farmers have expressed concern that the 30% tariffs imposed by the United States government will impact negatively on their exports to the U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump has postponed the implementation of the tariffs to the 1st of August this year.
In his latest announcements, U.S. President Donald Trump has slapped South Africa with a 30% tariff on Pretoria's exports to the U.S., a move that could deal a blow to local farmers. Trump has also cut aid to South Africa, and the country is now looking to diversify its trade relations. Citrus farmers in the Western Cape will be among those affected, as the country is the world's second largest exporter of citrus fruit after Spain.
It doesn't make sense for us to welcome South African farmers in America, and then the rest that stays behind that wants to secure food security, to punish them for not going to America.
After a 3-month pause, Trump escalated his trade war, targeting over a dozen countries, including South Africa. And while the United States accounts for only around 6% of South Africa's citrus exports, some farming areas produce specifically for the U.S. market.
Farmers will go bankrupt. For sure there would be job losses within our sector. So the impact is enormous. I don't even want to think about it.
Nal is the managing director of a citrus company with a warehouse not too far from Morton's farm. He's holding out hope that a deal can be done between the two countries to minimize the negative impact on farmers. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has said that trade talks with Washington will continue. He has argued that the 30% tariff rate was based on an inaccurate understanding of the two countries' trade. I'm Bonolo Maribe, SABC News.
While new HIV infections in sub-Saharan Africa reduced by 56%, and with the largest antiretroviral rollout program in the world, South Africa has contributed to the 54% decline in HIV-related deaths since 2010. However, this progress is at risk of being reversed with sudden drastic cuts from a number of donors sending shockwaves through global health.
The global HIV response is experiencing an unprecedented funding crisis, compounded by human rights and humanitarian challenges. HIV programs across the world are struggling from the sudden major reductions in funding for the global HIV response announced by the United States government and declining resources from other donor governments over a number of years. PEPFAR had committed $4.3 billion to support over 50 countries with their HIV response in 2025. Well, those services were stopped overnight as the US government decided to reconsider their foreign assistance strategies. But South Africa says it has had to move fast to relook its approach.
We are fortunate in the sense that from a funding perspective, the government actually funds the HIV treatment response to the tune of 77%. So even with the funding crisis that we have seen, South Africa is lauded for actually bearing, from a national fiscus perspective, the bulk of the HIV treatment component.
Well, this is where South Africa stands in terms of HIV infections versus the entire globe.
I want to regard this moment as a wake-up call. A wake-up call. because whether we like it or not, it is the responsibility of every government to provide for its people. It's not the responsibility of other governments.
Griselda Lewis, SABC News in Johannesburg.
Thank you for staying with us. The number of non-performing loans went up in the past financial year against the backdrop of a difficult economic environment characterized by slow growth, high inflation and heightened uncertainty. This is according to the CEO of the Prudential Authority at the Reserve Bank, Fundi Chaziabana.
The Prudential Authority says despite the difficult economic environment, South Africa's financial system remains resilient. During the period under review, the slow growth in the economy, high inflation and uncertainty led to financial institutions worrying about the financial health of their clients. There was an increase in non-performing loans as households and some businesses battled the high cost of living. Loan impairments went high during the period, mainly from unsecured lending.
Loans are still hovering around 5%. As a percentage of gross loans, but that's an aggregate number for all of the banks. In some of the banks, we have seen non-performing loans up to around 30% as a percentage of their gross loan book. Now, what one needs to understand about non-performing loans is that they go in stages, and a lot of them are from lending that has happened in the past.
As banks go digital and physical branches become fewer, this poses cybersecurity risks that financial institutions have to address.
As financial institutions are digitizing and making it easy for us to bank either through the internet directly or using mobile application, the dangers from a cybersecurity point of view are increasing. So we are having engagements with banks about the controls that they have put in place.
Gloria Sefakomusi, SABC News, Johannesburg.
The Democratic Republic of Congo's former army chief has been arrested on allegations of plotting to overthrow the government of President Felix Tshisekedi. Lieutenant General Christian Chiwewe and several other military officers were arrested on Wednesday night in the capital of Kinshasa.
A Congolese government official who declined to be quoted says the country's former army chief of staff, Lieutenant General Christian Chiwewe, has been detained at the Ndolo military prison in Kinshasa. He was arrested on suspicion of plotting a coup with other senior army officers. According to the official, military intelligence officers found incriminating evidence against them during investigations. Authorities haven't issued an official communication yet. Lieutenant General Christian Chiwewe joined the army in the late 1990s during the tenure of former Congolese President Laurent Désiré Kabila. He rose through the ranks and was appointed the Army Chief of Staff in 2022 by President Felix Tshisekedi. He is now being accused of working with former President Joseph Kabila to topple the current government. Kabila recently returned to the DRC from South Africa and visited areas controlled by the Rwandan-backed M23 rebels, sparking widespread condemnation in Kinshasa. The M23 conflict has left thousands of people dead and displaced more than 3 million others since late 2021. Representatives of the DRC government and the rebel group are currently in Qatar holding talks to end the conflict. The DRC army has arrested many of its soldiers on allegations of collaborating with the rebels. Chris Ochamringa, SABC News, Kinshasa.
It is now time for storm tracking, sunshine spotting, and everything in between. Our weather team has the latest forecast. Let's take a look coming up.
Good evening to you, and it's time to take a look at all your weather details. Some isolated showers in the Western Cape this evening, otherwise clear conditions right the way through the rest of the country on the east coast in towards the high ground of the interior, as well as Gauteng and Limpopo provinces. Ahead towards tomorrow, Friday, will be nice and sunny through the Free State northwards in towards South Africa, whilst isolated showers are possible along the coastal region of the Eastern Cape. Be on the lookout for wind speeds up to 50 kilometers an hour around Gqeberha tomorrow, and that's all the while as a cold front leaves behind it an isolated showers showers becoming scattered showers tomorrow in towards Cape Town, and a drop in temperatures in those parts. Damaging waves possible through the Cape Peninsula southwards on towards the Eastern Cape coastline. Please be on the lookout for that. And as we take a look at your overnight temperatures, Cape Town drops to 11. Gqeberha the same, Durban down to 12. Johannesburg just 0 overnight, -1 expected in both Bloemfontein and Bethlehem. However, tomorrow will be a maximum of 20 degrees in Johannesburg. That's under sunny conditions, the same in Bloemfontein, but 19 as a maximum. Cape Town up to 14, scattered showers possible. Gqeberha 20 degrees and Durban up to a maximum of 25 through the afternoon tomorrow. A quick look towards the middle of the weekend, and it remains cold, but now sunny in towards the Western Cape. Sunny conditions through the Northern Cape as well, but temperatures cold in the southern parts. We've got some isolated showers expected through the interior of the Eastern Cape, while scattered rainfall is forecasted for the KZN coastline southwards in towards the Eastern Cape. Cool temperatures prevailing in the Free State, sunny conditions for the Northwest Province, Limpopo and most of Gauteng. That's it from me. Have a great evening ahead.
That's all for tonight on Prime News on 3. Thank you for joining us. Please note there will be no bulletin tomorrow evening due to the special WAFCON broadcast. We are back with you again on Monday. Until next time, from myself and the team, stay ahead. Good night.